Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cash coming at you with another reaction video. And today I'm doing a video requested by a subscriber. He goes by the name of Covi Mars, Covi Mars. And this is Geography Now. This is the uploader's name, Geography Now. Well, the uploader's channel name is Geography Now. And it's Romania. Geography Now, Romania. So, you could check that video out if you want to. Or just watch it with me, reacting to it if you haven't. So, we're about to get straight into it. Let's see what this is about. I'm excited. I love learning, cool things out, whatever. So, let's do it. Let's see.
If any of you have ever had a family reunion, you all know what it's like to have a Romania show up. It's like... Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're in
a... Okay, so, yeah, this guy, he's clearly funny. I could tell already this guy is a funny guy. So, yeah, I seen other countries partying. Romania showed that there was, like, looking, and it was like, okay, it's Romania, let's do it. Let's get back into it.
Old dark castle or a tropical beach with margaritas. If you're Latin, you're part of the family. It's time to learn geography now! Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbs. No, I'm not going to make any Dracula jokes, and do not call these people Slavs, and no, unless they actually are gypsy.
Latin, not Slavic. Latin, not Slavic. Big up Latin. Shout out to Latin America, I'm going to give you some fun facts later on about myself.
Do not call Romanians gypsies.
Yeah, we hate that, and they only make up like 3% of our population.
Yeah, and don't call us gypsy. We prefer Roma or Romani.
That's too close to Romanian. Just
Roma or Romani, okay.
stick with gypsy. That's how this whole mess got started to begin with.
Well, Europeans gave us that title gypsy by mistaking us for Egyptians.
Then what do you want to be called?
Roma or Romani?
Ah!
So, yeah, anyway, let's look at the globe and see where Romania is on the map, shall we? Romania is unique because it's not only positioned in a weird spot, but it's culturally isolated. It's like the easternmost point of Latin influence. Quite a story, and it all starts in Europe. Romania is the 12th largest country in Europe, located at the crossroads between what is considered
12th largest country in Europe. That's pretty damn good, because how many countries is in Europe? It's pretty huge. I could travel for days over there, I'm guessing.
Central, Eastern, and Southern Europe. So it's hard to give it a single regional title, but for what it's worth, it borders 5 other countries and the Black Sea to the east. The nation is divided into 41 counties with their own city councils. However, to make things easier, the counties are kind of clustered into 8 development regions.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right here. 8 development regions, also known as the counties that she's talking about. Hey, if you Romanian, and you from Romania, comment below what region you are from in Romania. Let me know where you from. I just want to know, I just want to like look into it and dive into it, and maybe he might talk about some specific regions in this video, but let me know what region you are from, or even if you weren't born there and you're ethnic Romanian and you do know where your ancestors come from, let me know.
Which don't actually have any administrative power, but rather tie groups of counties together to facilitate economic activity. Culturally speaking, though, Romania is also kind of divided into 3 general historical regions: Moldavia, Wallachia, and the well-known Transylvania. Yes, Transylvania.
Transylvania, yo, like the movie with the the Dracula. Transylvania got the movies, from I believe it's Disney or Pixar. Lovely movies, man. Which a fun fact was like Dracula was based off of Romania, which is like amazing to me, because you know how popular Dracula is, not only in Romania but America and the whole world. Like, man, I was Dracula before for Halloween when I was a kid. I didn't know where it came from, So stuff like that, little things like that go a long way. Let's get into it though.
We'll talk about that later. The capital, Bucharest, located in the south, acts as its own county and, of course, has the highest population of any city. Here you can also find the largest international airport, Henry Coanda International. Otherwise, in the second largest city, Cluj-Napoca, in the northeast, you can find the second busiest airport, Avram Iancu International. And, of course, in the third largest city, Timișoara, you can find the third busiest...
Oh, I like that name, Timișoara. Timișoara. That sounds nice. I can't lie. That sounds cool.
Airport, Tirayen Vuya International. Otherwise, anything shipping related usually comes in from the Black Sea, with the largest port, the port of Constanța, which is also the largest shipping port on the Black Sea. Keep in mind, just a skip away is Snake Island, that Romania and Ukraine had a small dispute over that finally got resolved in 2009. Ukraine won. Dang. Anywho, the country has a wide, extensive rail...
I hope it was like a peaceful arrangement between Ukraine and Romania for that island. Yeah, I hope it was peaceful, to say the least. Shout out to Ukraine also.
And road network that reaches every neighboring nation. Disputedly, the busiest road being the A2 and A3 roads, linking the Black Sea to Bucharest and further to Hungary, traversing the Carpathian Mountains.
Otherwise, Romania is unique because the country in itself didn't always look the way it did. There's Moldavia, not to be confused with Moldova, although Moldova does get its historical name from that area. There's also Wallachia and the
Wow, that's deep right there. Okay, I see.
infamous Transylvania. That's right, Transylvania is in Romania.
But it should belong to Hungary.
We'll get to that later. Now, Romania is definitely not shy of making landmarks and sites of interest that stick out, and they take many aesthetic cues from multiple people groups. You'll see buildings that look French, buildings that look Slavic, some that look German, and some that just kind of do their own thing. For what it's worth, though, here are some of the top spots you guys, the Romanian Geography, suggested we mention. The Palace of Parliament, the National Heroes Mausoleum, the Gates of Iron, Constanța Casino, the Silly...
Oh, the Gates of Iron look crazy. Oh. Wow, this is a very colorful cemetery. I can't lie. Usually cemeteries be, all dark and, all down. This is very colorful. Like it's, very like warming to say at least,
Cemetery of Maramureș, this pole thing, Salina Turda, this ancient Dacian site, the King Decibel statue.
Oh, the King Decibel statue had a face inside the freaking stone. That's nice.
Tunnel of Love, this really cool bookstore, this ancient temple. Sibiu is like the most Transylvanian city you can get. Houses even have eyes on them. So many churches.
Yo, that's cool. That's cool. The house had eyes. It automatically took me back to the movie The Hills Have Eyes. It was like a horror movie. But that was cool.
Like these.
Imagine if they would blink like electronically. That'd been crazy.
Including one that was built into a cliff and the tallest wooden church in the world. Brasov and Rashnov also have those cool citadels and churches. They even have those Hollywood signs on hills. There's so many castles, many of which are said to be haunted, but the most famous one probably being Bran Castle, or Dracula's Castle. Yes, the famous Dracula Castle.
Dracula's Castle, yo. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I love Dracula, I don't think I'll go to the castle. I don't want, I don't want to come back out as a vampire.
Castle, which is not even mentioned as the home of Dracula in the book, and it was written by an Irish guy. And Vlad the Impaler was just an inspiration of Dracula. He wasn't actually Dracula, and he never even set foot in this castle.
Will you shut up? Don't give away our secret. This creepy gimmick makes us a lot of money.
But
Hey, and it's still gonna make you money after this video in years to come. I'm telling you, love it.
by the way, guys, this is Jason. He taught me motion graphics and helped me launch the entire channel.
He's a vampire!
Oh, bad. Yeah, lots of creepy haunted sites going on. And it doesn't stop at the buildings. They have entire forests that people are afraid to step into. Which brings us to... Romania is kind of like the land of legend and electricity. They have so many myths, yet they move forward with the age of energy. They were actually the first European country to have electric streetlights, and they even have a Prometheus statue holding a lightning bolt.
Wow, that's cool. The first European country to have the light poles. That's super creative. And this statue right here, the Prometheus statue, this looks so cool. To me, this looks like something straight out of the Terminator movie or like a silver Power Ranger. Like that looks cool as heck. Like that's cool.
For what it's worth, though,
The nation is about evenly divided by plains, hills, and mountains, with the mighty Carpathian Mountains, the third largest chain in Europe, dominating the north and central parts. Here you can find the highest peak, Mount Moldovano, in the hook of the southern Carpathians. From there, there's one little detached cluster of mountains in the northeast, known as the Apuseni Mountains, which effectively makes the hills of Romania kind of look like Pac-Man. And in these Apuseni Mountains, you can find Scaricioara, which claims to be the largest underground glacier in the world. These mountains are essentially formed by the smaller Carpathian micro-fault line within the larger Eurasian tectonic plate. This is also what explains how, even though Romania is inland, it has small distinct areas of geothermal activity, such as the mud volcanoes of Berca and small hot springs in the west side of the country. Between these mountains and hills, you have the Transylvanian Plateau, where you can find the largest non-shared river fully within Romania, the Mureș River. However, on the east and south sides, you have the Moldavian and Wallachian plains, where the longest river shared with Bulgaria, the mighty Danube, flows into the Black Sea. Along the Black Sea coast, you get the flattest and incredibly beautiful Danube Delta area, the second largest delta in Europe after the Volga, and is considered the most well-preserved. This area in itself is a biosphere reserve and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is the largest continuous marshland in Europe and has over 1,600 plant species alone. This whole flat marshy area along the coast is also known as the Dobruja region. Here you can find what is considered the largest lake of Romania, known as Lake Razelm, which is actually a freshwater lagoon known as a liman. This lake actually used to be connected to the Black Sea as a salty lagoon, but in the
Wow, this is deep right here. This is very, very rich in resources. Like very rich in resources. It sounded like that's pretty damn amazing. Let's get back into it.
70s, a thin land barrier was built to keep the Black Sea out, which has now changed the ecological conditions drastically, making it a freshwater lake. Overall, if you zoom out, it's a relatively lush European country.
And with that, it's time for my triple shot espresso break. Noah usually comes in for this segment, but unfortunately he's still out visiting family. So how about we add some pumpkin spice to this order, shall we? Bibbidi bibbidi bop sagging.
Get it? Pumpkin. In the shortest way to summarize it, Romania started out as a shaky post-communist state that many people didn't know how to interact with. Essentially, joining the EU in 2007 really helped. It was like,
All right, so we just had a revolution. Communism is gone. We'd like to join your party. Here's our application.
everything seems to be in order, but you do have some sprucing up to do.
Oh, okay, just hear me out. We're going through legislative reforms. We're opening up a free market. And just to prove we're dedicated, we even put visa regimes on countries like Russia and Turkey.
You have to wait 14 years, you won't be Schengen, and you have to use your own currency.
Woohoo! I'll take it.
Hey, what the Romania? You totally ditched me back there. If he's in, I'm in. And that's how lots of money started flowing to Romania. Today, Romania is the largest electronics producer in Central and Eastern Europe. Due to the highly fertile land, Romania has lots of cheap and abundant produce. Often at the end of harvest season, you will see huge stacks of things like cabbage and watermelon. I love watermelon.
I love watermelon too, but that right there, that goes back to the resources, natural resources. Like, telling you, if there's ever when the end of days, say a food shortage, God forbid, such like things of that sort happens, like just know Romania is gonna have a lot to dwell on, and a lot to have on their side of the abundance of greens and meats and stuff like that.
With lemon. So do you, Paul. I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
They're one of the most underrated wine-producing countries in the world, usually around 12th place in overall world production.
Hey, fun fact, I like a little wine.
Theoretically, Romania has the third highest capacity for geothermal energy on continental Europe after Greece and Italy.
Ahem.
I said continental. You're an island and not even fully in Europe, okay? Otherwise, as a very lush and forested nation, Romania is home to numerous animal species like foxes, hares, bats. Remember good old Wojtek? Well, Romania has the largest population of brown bears in the world outside of Russia. And keeping up with the spooky
Oh wow, the largest bear population is in Romania. Yes, I think what y'all learned in the facts video that I reacted to about 2 weeks ago. Wow, just to hear that again is just like, so many bears, and like I just seen a bear for the first time. Like up close outside of the zoo in my life just last year, 2020. So that's crazy.
Theme, Romania has quite a few haunted or cursed natural sites. The two most famous ones probably being the Witch's Pond. Okay, that's a bad witch voice as well. Where scary things are said to happen, and even animals won't drink from it or go near it. Yeah. Okay. And Hoya. You know we have a Ho rainforest where I'm from? Yeah, it's called the Ho rainforest. And Hoya Forest, labeled the most haunted forest in the world, where people have seen everything from monsters, ghosts, UFOs, and even a portal that...
Hey, let me know if y'all been to the Hoya Forest, man, and if y'all seen anything. And if y'all live and had seen anything, God bless you, because, man, they would have took me, because, man, I'm screaming, I'm running, you know. Hey, I don't know what I'll do, man, if I see something in the forest. I don't play.
leads to an alternate universe? I don't believe it. How can you have monsters and UFOs in the same place? So anyway, yeah, food. Some top dishes that you guys...
Hey, one of my favorite parts right here. Food, let's see what y'all got.
suggested include maize porridge, plum dumplings, these really cool ground meat rolls, placenta pastries, placenta, let's do it. Placenta, tokitura stew, jellified meat platters, organ meatloaf, and the national dish sarmala, which was actually brought over from the Turks during the Ottoman times, but Romanians, mostly being Christian, stuff it with pork. So that's kind of a unique...
Oh, wow. Most of Romania is Christians. Okay, Orthodox. Okay, that's cool. Me, myself, I am Orthodox Christian believer in Christ, you know.
Romanian twist, I guess. And things get even more twisty once you learn about the people, which brings us to...
Thank you, Art.
You're welcome, Barbie. Send me home.
All right. Bob a second. The Romanians have a saying. They are a Latin island in a Slavic sea. If you look at the position of Romania on the map, literally everyone surrounding them is not like them. But we'll get into that later. First, Romania has just about 19.5 million people and has seen a 16.2 population decrease since its peak in 1991 at 23 million. The majority of the country, at about 88%, identifies as Romanian to whatever degree, whether it be one or both parents being Romanian. After that, the second largest minority group would be the Hungarians, and more specifically, the CK people, found mostly in the Transylvania.
Okay, so you have Hungarians there, okay. And the CK people? Never heard of that.
Area. After that, the Roma, Romani, often called Gypsy, come in at third place at around 3%, and the rest are a bunch of other groups like Ukrainians, Germans, and general Europeans, and very few non-Europeans. Now, even though they are part of the EU, they are not part of the Eurozone, and they use their own currency, the Romanian leu. They use the type C and F plug outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road. Now, back to the identity thing, even though Romanians hate being called Slavs, they have to kind of admit Slavic culture has kind of put a major dent in their upbringing and identity. I mean, somewhere around 15% of their language is Slavic based. On top of that, like most Slavs, Romania and Moldova are the only Latin-based Orthodox predominant nations on Earth.
Huh. It's like we're backwards versions of each other.
How did all of this happen, though? Well, to summarize, the area of what is now Romania was known in antiquity as Dacia, or Dacia, inhabited by Dacians, which were basically cousins to the
Oh, Dacians, okay.
mysterious Thracian people. History doesn't record too much about them, but they were known for having interesting customs, warfare techniques. Spartacus was a Thracian, and many of them were known for being redheads.
Whoa. Ancient ginger warriors? That's pretty cool.
Then in like the 2nd century BC, the Romans came in and pretty much destroyed everything and made it their province, moved a ton of Romans in, and Romanized everything.
Oh, well...
This is essentially how the land of Romania became the easternmost point of Latin influence in Europe. Over time, Slavic tribes migrated south after the Roman Empire fell, but they avoided the Carpathian and Black Sea coast, which they knew were Latin strongholds. After gaining ground in the Balkans, this essentially isolated Romania from every other Latin-based area, which kind of explains how they became a distinct people group. So that's basically how it all went down. Then we get to the CK people, the second most populous minority. Yes, that's how you pronounce it, CK. Basically cousins of the Hungarians. These people are steadfast in holding on to their culture, language, and claim over the Transylvanian region.
That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Known as CK land. They even have their own...
That's actually great that they hold on to their culture and traditions and mind you, all that's been going on because, you know, a lot has went down, especially with the Ottoman Empire. It's just you should be glad to know what you were and what your customs were before they touched you down to your homeland, because a lot went down during that time. A lot recorded and unrecorded that we don't know of.
Flag. Today it's not such a big deal, but once every so often you might get a little bit of tension between the Romanians and the CK. On top of that, Romania was a previous kingdom that ended in 1947, with King Michael I being the last king until he was forcibly abdicated by the Communist Party. Context, Hannah wanted to be the king of Romania in this skit.
Well, good to have you visit, Your Highness. But are you sure you don't want to seek asylum here?
No, thank you. I shall return. My people will listen to me and respect my title.
Very well. Safe travels.
Sign this paper saying you won't be king anymore. We'll kill you.
Well, I tried.
And today there are actually 3 people that can technically claim heir to the former monarch of Romania. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Now it's time for Random Hannah with culture stuff.
Now, with Romanian culture, it gets a little intense because they are saturated in myth and legend, especially with major life events like birth, marriage, and even death. Some of the traditions include things like, for a kid's first birthday, it is common to cut a lock of hair from the baby and keep it forever. Also, people might give offerings to the fate fairies by leaving gifts on the windowsill.
Okay.
Romanian weddings are also pretty extreme. It's common for the bride to get kidnapped by friends of the family
Oh, what?
for a silly ransom. During the kidnapping, the bride just kind of hangs out and drinks at a bar or something. I watched some YouTube videos about that. But then the girl's like happy at the end. It's weird. Okay.
Yo, I would love to check that out. I would love to check that out. Let me know in the comments if this is what really goes down, if you're really from Romania, and have you been a part of one, seen it. I really want to. That's as crazy as it sounds. I would like to just see it play out, because obviously it's just it's not real. But yeah.
And there are so many other small customs and festivals, like the Midsummer Festival, where women dress in white. The Kaloi Anul rain-making ritual performed by children after Easter or a hot day. Christmases are very important to them. In Romania, they go buck wild, making as much noise as possible, wearing costumes, sometimes having whips, and carrying staffs to ward off evil spirits. There's also
Man, I'm all down with that, warding off evil spirits. We do not need that around us. In Jesus' name.
that festival where the dudes wear women's clothing and masks with loud bells and they parade to ward off disease and evil spirits. On St. Andrew's Day, it's common to eat garlic and spread garlic all over the house to ward off the
Evil spirits.
Yes, as well as the stigoi, which are like Romanian zombies. Superstitions, charms, and so on are heavily ingrained in their upbringing. In fact, they even have a 16% black magic income tax for anyone that works in the profession, such as fortune telling.
Income tax. Oh yeah, I taxing. Oh, that sucks.
Or witchcraft. Now, every region of Romania has their own folk costumes, which generally look pretty
Government trying to take your money all around the world, man.
similar, but you'll notice they all kind of have like a Balkan, Slavic influence style.
Yeah, the dress one is definitely Balkan.
Romania also has 4 Nobel Prize winners, and they are known for quite a few inventions, such as insulin, car wheels that are positioned on the
Insulin. Like, come on, stuff like that. Imagine where we'd be at without insulin.
inside of a car's frame, and the fountain pen. And now to Keith's music segment. But actually, guys, Keith is not here. He's in Germany. Will he make it on this episode of Geography Now? Stay tuned in the next 2 seconds to find out.
Yeah, no, Keith is still not here.
Oh, okay. Sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything?
Noah's back. No, actually, since Keith is not here, why don't you take the music segment?
You got it. Let's get this party started,
He's
shall
prepared.
we?
Okay.
Oh, yes. Here we go. As an isolated Latin people group, surrounded mostly by Slavs, traditional music in Romania has always had a noticeable Eastern and Balkan European twang to it. Stringed instruments are probably the most preferred form of musical device, and even for percussion. This stringed instrument is commonly used. Some of the most common folk styles include Doina, or the shepherd's longing song, and the Song of the Elders. Each region has kind of their own version of these styles. After World War II, they really started to dabble outside the folk and classic genres and started the Musica Ușoară Românescă period, which means easy Romanian music. music. Georges Enescu being one of the prominent figures during this time, regarded as one of, if not the most important icon of Romanian musicians. After the fall of communism and opening up to the world, Romania dabbled even further with so many new brands and singers emerging into genres like rock, pop, house, and underground, and disputedly the most prevalent genre, electronic. Today there are about 10 major nationwide electronic music festivals found all over Romania, like Noise, Untold, and the biggest one, the After Hills Music and Arts Festival. Fun fact, you know that Numa Numa song? Yeah, that takes you back about 10 years, right? Well, that band called Ozone was actually a Moldovan band with one Romanian guy.
Ozone. Shout out to y'all.
But, I mean, Moldova, Romania, they're like basically the same people.
Yes, you are. You know you are. You're basically one of us. Yes, you are.
Yeah, but,
There is no but. You are one of us.
And there's lots of other Romanian musicians and bands, but we'll mention them later in the famous people section. Now, it's back to you, old barbs.
Here we go. All right, so in the quickest way I can summarize the history of Romania: Dacia, Roman Empire, tribal migration, Middle Ages, split into three, Ottomans, Austro-Hungarians, Russians came in, World War I, country unites. Things look good until boom, World War II. Lose parts of what were formerly parts of the...
Okay. Wait, why did Russians come in though? Are they trying to like take stuff over or something like that?
country, satellite USSR, Soviets banished royal family, really bad communist years, dictator deposed, democratic elections, European Union in 2007, and here we are today. Some famous people you guys, the Romanian Geography, suggested we mention in this episode include, full disclosure, I'm gonna probably mispronounce everything, Klaus Ioannis, Gica Hagi, Nadia Comaneci, Simona Halep, Christian Mungiu, Corneliu Porumboiu, Ilina Stase, Ina, Alexandra Stan, Marius Moga,
Oh, I was about to say something about Ina. Hold on.
Arbs.
Whoa. Hold on. Is that my guy from Avengers? Hold on.
Here we go. All right, so in the quickest way I can summarize the history of Romania: Dacia, Roman Empire, tribal migration, Middle Ages, split into three, Ottomans, Austro-Hungarians, Russians came in, World War I, country unites. Things look good until boom, World War II. Lose parts of what were formerly parts of the country, satellite USSR, Soviets banished royal family, really bad communist years, dictator deposed.
I would like to look into Dacia. I would really like to look into that.
Democratic elections, European Union in 2007, and here we are today. Some famous people you guys, the Romanian Geography, suggested we mention in this episode include, full disclosure, I'm gonna probably mispronounce everything, Klaus Ioannis, Gica Hagi, Nadia Comaneci, Simona Halep, Christian Mungiu, Corneliu
Yana Comaneci, she looks like she is a supreme athlete.
Porumboiu,
My man's right here, Corneliu. He looks super smart.
Ilina Stase, Ina, Alexandra
Shout out to Ina. She looks beautiful.
Stan, Marius Moga, Sebastian.
There we go, Sebastian Stan. Okay, so I'm guessing Sebastian Stan is an ethnic Romanian, whether he's a full ethnic Romanian or has like a half, quarter, some percentage in him. That's cool, Sebastian Stan. This is my guy from the Avengers movie, Captain America. That's amazing. Great fact.
Stan, that one was easy. Jeez. Dustin Hoffman's parents are from Romania. Stan Lee's parents.
Stan Lee's parents? What? Speaking of, oh wow, that's amazing. If Stan Lee's parents are from Romania, obviously Stan Lee is Romanian. I don't know if he's ethnic or not. The parents come from Romania, but they don't have to be ethnically. Stan Lee, I guess Lee is not his real last name. Maybe it changed, but that's cool.
Sergiu Niculescu, Gopo, Amza and Oana Pelea, Dem Radulescu, Jean Constantin, Andreea Esca, Angela Georgiou. I am so
John Constantine. I like that last name, Constantine.
sorry, Romanians. I can't. But anyway, a lot of Romanians and a lot of friends that the Romanians have made over the years. Let's find out who they are. When it comes to friends, Romanians have a saying, their only best friend is the Black Sea, because it never tried to invade them. In all seriousness, though, recent changes in the...
Nah, I respect that. That's the water didn't portray them, Everybody else, though, people don't mind their business. People always want more. So much greed and try to come to your country and just take everything. Like that shit sucks, Come on.
Past 3 centuries have drastically changed the way how they operate their diplomacy.
For one, after dropping communism and becoming a member of NATO and the EU, of course relations with other EU members have grown since the 2000s. And although they are one of the less wealthier EU states, their GDP and quality of life has risen thanks to heavy investments and loans offered by the EU. This of course has strained relations with Russia. Romania was once part of the Warsaw Pact that essentially cooperated with the former Soviet Union until the early 90s when everything broke apart. Not only that, but the whole conflict with Transnistria in Moldova only heightened tensions between Romania and Russia over time. Serbia is kind of like the only neighbor they have that they are pretty cool with, as no major conflicts have ever arisen between the two. Romania also sides with Serbia's dispute in the whole Kosovo conflict. With Bulgaria, it's kind of like they suffered.
Oh, okay. So y'all are cool with Serbia. Okay, so that's one group of people that y'all look at and okay.
Together as the lowest ranking EU states in terms of quality of infrastructure. They're not even allowed to be part of the Schengen or Eurozone yet. As Danube River and Black Sea neighbors with a shared history of dealing with Ottoman Empire years, they do as much as they can to keep each other afloat. For what it's worth though, Romania loves to meet up with their distant cousins, the Italians and Spanish. When they meet up, it's
The distant cousins, Italian and Spanish. Yep. Of course, Latin, Spanish.
like something just clicks and they get each other, even though they have completely different clothing and customs. On top of that, they have a huge crush on France, but France is like hardcore friend zoning them. Before English became the second most commonly spoken language, French was actually way more popular. They copied lots of French-style architecture, they adopted French words, and they pretty much copy-pasted the French Constitution. When it comes to their best friends, though, almost every Romanian has told me it's not even a friend, it's not even family. Moldova is basically the same as Romania. Moldovans are essentially the
Moldova. Okay. Moldova.
closest people, their closest brothers and sisters. They basically speak the same language. Moldova just has a little bit more of a Russian influence. They love sharing a glass of...
So, quick question. What is the relationship between Romania and Russia? And I'm only asking because as he was doing a summary, he said Russia came to the country. I just don't know the business why they came to the country. So, what is the relationship between Russia and Romania? Like, do you guys get along? Do you not? Because you guys are good with Serbia, and I do know Serbia and Russia are pretty close to my understanding. To what I believe, I think like they back each other up or something like that. I could be wrong, but yeah. So let me know about that in the comments if you guys do know, or is it just like we do our own thing, no problems, but y'all just do your own thing.
wine. And no matter how detached they are from the rest of the Latin world, at least they have each other.
In conclusion, with Romania, you do get the land of electricity and myths and legend, so much folklore, yet so many crazy things that have happened that made them into who they are. Stay tuned. Russia, the big guy, is coming up next.
Okay, and that's the end of the video. I know this video probably one of my longest because I'm just reacting to it. I'm just watching it. Sorry if I paused it too much and talked. Still have a few more things to say. We'll leave it at this for now. And yeah, that was very interesting. My recap is very, very I look at it as a very conserved country, and they kept to themselves, which is great. They minded their business, which gets you far in life, period. And stick to themselves, which is nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes you might open up to the wrong people or groups of people. The culture, excellent. The myths, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. A great story to pass down generations, and stuff like that sticks, and it keeps you always wondering and wondering. Dracula. Shout out Dracula. Dracula's amazing, and yeah, I really enjoyed this video. Right now I'm actually thinking about some Romanian food. I would love to have some. I wish they had some spots over here in America. I know they do somewhere. I just don't know where. So yeah, that was cool to dive into. Number one thing, Romania is not Slavic. They are Latin, but they're cool with Serbians, which I do know that for a fact they Slavic. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think about this video. Shout out to you, Kobe Mars. Thank you for introducing me to this video and introducing me deep into your standards, your homeland. Hey, thank you. That's all I can say for that. It's only one way we do things. That's a cash way. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what's next. I do have some videos dropping immediately after this. So, stay tuned, guys. And be safe. Be safe. God bless.